This is Bruce Daly with the Siebel Hub. I'm here in San Francisco for day 4, Thursday, of Oracle OpenWorld. And I'm very honored to be joined by George Jacob.
Hi, I'm George Jacob. It's a pleasure to be here, Bruce. And I'm responsible for Siebel development and have been for about, my team has been for 10 years, almost 10 years within Oracle. And I joined Siebel in '98, so good to be here.
Thank you, George. So, George, you've been in the industry a long time. Can you share with us some of your perspectives on what's happening in customer relationship management?
Sure. I think, Bruce, my sense is that where Siebel started, we were very much focused on enterprise-facing applications. And we lived in a world where almost every customer interaction happened with an employee. Be it in sales or service, through a call center, or in a shop or a branch or a bank, as the case may be. And I think over the last 10 to 15 years, things have moved much more online, whatever is going digital. And with that, the employee roles have diminished. So the need for our applications has become essentially to replace the things that the employee was doing previously in the application, essentially automate or simplify the employee part of the equation. And over the last 5 to 10 years now, we've seen huge explosions in the areas of mobile, smartphone usage, social channels, and now more recently, or some will claim it's been around for much longer, what people are calling the Internet of Things. And what this is doing now is moving away from not only the employee not being part of the conversation, but in many cases, the customer themselves not being explicitly part of the conversation. Essentially, you have a proxy for the customer in terms of the conversations they're having, not explicitly with an organization, or the devices that they carry around or have in their homes, and a proxy for the employee in terms of self-service and automated applications.
So how are you adapting Siebel to this new world?
So sort of 2 or maybe 3 different themes we see behind this trend. One is, of course, automation, gradually perfecting the workflows, the fairly sophisticated business logic that Siebel has had, both horizontally and vertically, industry specific, but automating that to first allow for the replacement of the employee with an application that will act on behalf of that employee. And then now, more recently, to essentially allow agents, computer agents or machine agents, if you will, to act as proxies for the customer. So we have what we're calling an automation imperative, and it's recognizing that as mobile, social, and the Internet of Things increase the amount of data that's going through the system, in order to process that data and act on it, you really need to go to machines, because the ability for any organization to do this manually is quickly diminishing with every year and all the masses of data going through the system.
You talk to a lot of customers. Can you tell us what some forward-thinking customers are doing with this technology?
Sure. I think the one that I'm most impressed by and interested in as well is General Motors. We all know General Motors as a car manufacturer, and of course they have used Siebel for many years in their call centers and starting to use Siebel for their dealer network. So with their traditional business that we all know General Motors by. What I've learned in the last few months actually is that General Motors is now pointing themselves at a space that they call urban mobility. And so while they continue to be interested in cars, they're looking at a host of new trends. So the sharing economy in the form of car sharing and ride sharing, Internet of Things in the form of connected vehicles, and AI or machine learning in the form of autonomous vehicles. So they're looking at 4 new industries or opportunities. And what is evolving for them is a need to have both an agile set of applications and interactions with their customers across these 4 new businesses, as well as, of course, their traditional business, but also a strong, solid base that they can tap into as they need. So essentially a strong core as well as an agile set of systems. And what's I think effectively what they're doing architecturally is something that one of our other customers, Swisscom, this week called Bi-modal development. So they have Siebel as their CRM system at the base. All the data and the business logic lives in that system. And then they have these individual applications for car sharing and ride sharing that they're assembling with whatever technology they can get to that addresses the needs of that particular market very quickly. And then combining that over time, and then at some point bringing whatever these new applications are doing back into Siebel, rationalizing everything so that they have a coherent picture. And one of the interesting things they talked about was starting to use loyalty. So they recognize that the airlines have really focused forever on passenger miles. That's what their job is. And GM is now starting to focus on the same thing. So you could, while you're in college or in the city as soon after college, gather loyalty points, effectively miles, through GM's car sharing or ride sharing programs. And then if you choose later on in life to move into, say, the suburbs and buy a car, you could then use those same miles towards the purchase of your car. So they're essentially building a holistic set of things that are focused on your being a customer, effectively from cradle to grave, just as the banks do or the phone companies do, that some would like to do, but across numerous businesses. And so in this instance, they were able to tap into Siebel loyalty and they are tapping into Siebel loyalty, turning that on to meld their various businesses together. So in that vein, we see this bi-modal development being really bi-mode, if you will, being Oracle's CX approach as well. We, for about 5 to 7 years now, have been building and buying what we call customer experience applications that are targeted much more to the digital space, much more to the social space, and yet we've integrated all of those with Siebel, so you could have the best of both worlds. You have that universal picture, you have that consistency in data and logic, and at the same time, you have that rapid interaction and purpose-built applications for the channel or the business that you're in.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Sure, it's been a pleasure, Bruce.
Thank you, George.